Alright. Okay, and we're gonna see ourselves.
No, hello everyone.
How you doing?
Welcome to the Wildflowers. Hey Peg.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. What's going on, ladies?
Well, we just saw each other. So
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
not like we
You
have
know,
all
this
that
has
much.
been such a busy week.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, yesterday I felt bad because on Thursday, and you were on the train with me when I got the message. On Thursday night, the food pantry that I volunteer in sends out to the team for, I'm on the Friday team,
Right.
you know, let me know if you could come, and everybody's on it. And I didn't do it right away in the morning, and I said, oh, I don't think I want to go Friday morning because we're going into the city on Thursday night, and I was doing something, and all of a sudden everybody started responding, I can't make it, I can't make it, I can't make it. And I said, no, I can't say I can't make it. So I texted her, I said, well, I was going to say I can't make it, but a lot of people can't, so I'll shoot for 10:30. And then when we were on the train on Thursday on the way home from the city, I got the response, and she said, just stay home, I got extra people coming in, so I was so happy.
So we were in the city and we met Judy and her husband Niall into, well, we had dinner, which I
At a
enjoyed.
great place.
I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
it was good.
I loved it.
Playwright Celtic Pub, and then we went to see Gabriel Byrne in Walking with Ghosts.
That was excellent.
Yeah.
I
We
really
didn't
enjoyed
really
it.
get a chance to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
No,
about-
we took two separate trains, and so we
Yeah.
didn't get to take, you know, the hash it
Yeah.
over. But we had great seats. Number one,
Yeah.
we were,
Oh my
like second
God.
row, right?
It was incredible.
amazing. It
When
was
I first sat down, I thought, because I thought of movie theater, like
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah,
want to
so
sit that close. And then I said, no, this is going to be good because I can't really see details of people if I'm far away.
Right.
And, you know.
Yeah.
No, we
So-
were second row, right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So he made eye contact with me a few
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
That was nice, yeah.
Yes, I saw that and I'm like, no.
No, I loved it. I really
Yeah,
did, and
yeah.
my husband loved it.
Okay.
There was a few points of it. It's a one-man show, and he's got a book, right? And this
Yes.
is
Yes, the
based
book
on-
is Walking with
on-
Ghosts.
I did
also.
not read
Yeah.
the book,
It's
but
a biography.
biography, and it's based upon his life growing
Yeah.
up and until he, you know, from a child all the way until now. He's in his 70s now.
Yeah,
right?
72.
72.
Yeah.
And he was talking about a lot of different points. He grew up in Dublin, which is where my husband grew up, and there were things I could see were lighting the light bulb, you know, for my
Yeah.
husband. And even afterwards, he was like, "Oh, you know, what he said a lot about." You know, when he was talking about the Christmas pageant,
Right,
there were
yeah.
little things that were triggering memories for him. He goes, "Yeah, I did that too." Or I
Yeah.
did- so it was very nice.
How
For
old
him.
was Niall when he came over here?
He was 24.
Oh, wow. So he
Right.
really, his whole childhood was spent there.
Yes, yeah. So
Wow.
he
So he just came over by himself?
He came over by himself on a visa. It was a lottery system back then, and back then the economy wasn't very good in Ireland, so the prospects for him, for job-wise, I guess, were better that way.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's self-made. You know, I'm very
Right.
proud of him in that way.
Yeah.
But similar to Gabriel Byrne, you know,
Right.
what he did, he too had
Yeah.
to struggle.
Yeah.
He talked about his struggles with working, you know, not good at school, you know,
Right.
either was my husband, not the best, you know, he's very smart, man, both of them, but that,
Right.
you know, the academics probably wasn't their best,
Mhm.
and then he went to be a plumber, Gabriel Byrne,
Yeah.
and that wasn't his
Right,
forte.
Yeah.
right.
And then it was what I loved, and I thought Niall liked it as well, the part when he talked about taking the bus to Sandymount, which is near where my husband lives, and not the same town, but when like Dublin is a county, so he didn't
Right.
grow up in the city, and neither did
Right.
Gabriel Byrne. It's like a, you know, there's
Right,
suburbs,
county, yeah.
right? And so that's one of the suburbs in Dublin he went to, where he was applying for an ad for an amateur actor, and
yeah.
how
Yeah.
how the experience, the welcoming, the
Right, yeah.
acceptance, even though
Yeah.
just turned a whole corner for
Yeah.
him, and
Yeah.
it made me start thinking, you know, just
Yeah, if
how
he
we
hadn't
could be
done that,
happy.
and that was recommended a friend, right? One of his friends,
yes,
you know,
yes.
sent him on it, and
Yeah.
he kind of like, yeah, all right, I'll do
Yeah.
it.
Which
But-
is,
Right.
So the part about the plumber I thought was very funny when the the head of the job was sending him out on errands and said, "Don't take the bus, just walk," because he was so terrible at it.
Take your time.
It was really a great show. I really liked it, and some parts of it were funny. Some parts of it were emotional, and
Was anything surprising for you?
Yes.
I was surprised when he talked about being sexually abused by that priest in the seminary, and I don't know why I should have been. I just didn't think of it. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me that I know that it happens, but I wasn't expecting that. That he would have had that experience.
Were you expecting?
And
I'm not shocked about that anymore.
When he first said he was being sent there, I went, I knew that was going to happen.
And when he spoke about being an alcoholic,
that was surprising.
Sorry about the dog.
That just came. That's why
he was 24 years sober. He's 24 years sober, and that he was friends with Richard Burton.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
Yes, and he reenacted a conversation, the two of them. Sherlock, hey buddy.
Yeah, he did the whole thing in different voices.
Yeah.
I like that. I could usually distinguish who was speaking. Like sometimes he spoke for his mother, sometimes for his father.
Yeah.
At one point, I got a little confused. I said, "All right, who's talking now?"
Was that towards the end?
It was when the person was dying. I think it was his mother, and I said, "Is that the father speaking to her, or is he?" But I would highly recommend it. It's a great show. I don't think it's running for very long.
Only like 8 more shows.
Yeah.
By the time,
So I could recommend it. It's great.
And if you don't get to see the show, pick up the book.
Exactly.
Because it's I would, I don't know if I'd read it because I saw the play, but there's a lot there, and he had a very interesting life.
Well, I'm sure that the book delves into a lot more things. I mean, for the show, it was only 2 hours long.
Only. I mean, that's not. He was the only guy. It's a one-man show. That's it. So he spoke for 2 hours with just a 15-minute break. That's a lot.
Yeah, it was great.
He's a really good actor, and I appreciated it. And I know that we've talked about like different shows we want to go see or plays, and I used to only want to go see like musicals. I love musicals. The Chorus Line was the first one I saw, and I loved it. Now I really want something with like what we saw the other night, the meat of a play. So I got to see what else is out there.
That's why I wish that the Madison Theater in Malloy University, they only do musicals there.
Yeah.
And, there's so many community acting, groups and so many traveling troupes. And I wish that they would just do, like a drama, even a comedy, something that isn't a musical. Because I'm not crazy about musicals. I do like them.
Yeah.
But, sometimes they're very corny, and
I don't like
sometimes I don't like the song. I said, I don't like that song. So
I like musicals.
Yes,
I do. Oh my God.
Well, you're still young now.
I like plays too. I'd really love to see an opera. I haven't seen one.
I've seen an opera. I saw The Marriage of Figaro in Lincoln Center.
Oh wow!
Many years ago.
No, the one musical I would love to see still. I hint it all the time, and nobody said it is. I want to see Book of Mormon.
That is hysterical.
Right?
That's the kind of musical I like.
Right. So I know some of the songs. How have I not seen this musical?
Sorry, guys.
You have a very bad dog.
Somebody just came in.
Yeah,
it's Jason's going in and out.
Yeah, my son's going in.
That was great. That's definitely worth going to see. My face hurt.
Yes,
from laughing so much.
That's what I need. I need to see that.
Right from the get-go. Right from the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be.
I would go see it again if you're going. Let me know. I would go again.
I would go again.
Well, I do have.
And get good seats like we had.
See that. To get good seats, are they so expensive?
I don't know though with Book of Mormon because that's been for a long time. They might be cheaper now.
We could check into it.
Yeah, let's check into it because I would definitely go see that again. It was
good because nobody
funny.
else is taking the hints.
Well, one thing I wanted to say, and I didn't realize this, was that somebody congratulated me on my LinkedIn today, saying congratulations on your anniversary, and I'm like, for what? And I looked and I went, oh. It's been 4 years today that I've been with Best Virgin Media, really didn't know. Best Virgin Media. Well, I think I'm blushing right now. But it's with Rockville Center Living Magazine that I write for them. And it's been 4 years, which I didn't realize. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, thanks.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would toast you, but
Well,
we don't
I
have any wine.
was just gonna say that. Too bad we don't have any
Well,
wine.
we'll do
Alright.
that, but I
Oh,
know
no,
that you
she's
wanted to
making us
share
wait.
something.
Oh, I did. I forgot.
Oh,
You know-
so love it.
Oh, I just want to read this if we have time. And I read it on Facebook just before we started here today. I can't take credit for this. It was posted by my friend Jen on her Facebook page, and I shared it because I go, this just so reminds me of us, and it's hysterical. And it says, the secret of the Muppets is they are not very good at what they do. Kermit's not a great host. Fonzie's not a good comedian. Miss Piggy's not a great singer. Like, none of them are actually good at it, but they fucking love it. And they're like a family, and they like putting on the show. And they have joy, and because of the joy, it doesn't matter that they're not good at it. And that's like what we should all be. Muppets! Like, and it's attributed to Brett Goldstein. I don't know who he is, but it was posted on my friend's Facebook page, and I just thought that was hysterical.
It
I
is,
just love
and it is like us. We have just fun doing it. So.
Yeah.
And I love Muppets because, you know, I'm trying to be on Sesame Street still. You know? So I go, this is just the best.
Yeah.
So we are kind of our own Sesame Street
That's right.
Muppets right here.
right.
Awesome.
I love it.
Thank you for sharing that, because that was.
So if you
cute.
could be a Muppet, if you were a Muppet, who would you want to be?
I'm
Ernie?
so
always
Ernie.
wanted
to be
Oh, I love Ernie.
Wow, and how about you?
Grover.
Well, Ernie's not a Muppet. He's Sesame Street. I guess they're Muppets.
Yeah, they're all Muppets.
They're all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're Grover.
I always loved Grover too. He was my favorite.
Well, one
Grover.
could be regular, one could be Super Grover.
Well, that's true. There was the super. You want to be
I'll
super.
be Super Grover.
I knew she
I
could
can see
figure it out.
I also like the Count because I like vampires.
I like Oscar too. I
yeah.
switch. I do
I
Ernie
kind
and
of like all
Oscar.
of them.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
You know what?
Yeah, let's drink
We're
wine.
gonna drink
Let's do
some
that.
wine, because I
Let's
know
do that.
We can talk with Sesame Street all
Griselda
day.
thinks we're very funny that we wait to open up the wine or whatever. But I haven't tasted it yet.
Okay.
This is one of the bottles
What's
that
up
I
with
got.
this? What
that
is
it was
that?
on it, but I just left it on it because it came wrapped in it. This is one of the ones I got with my club, National Geographic
okay.
Club.
Oh, okay.
And it's Ermita de San Lorenzo, Grand Selección, 2014. I just butchered that. It's from Spain. Okay, the wine. It's perfectly aged, silky smooth reds with a splash of Spanish speciality. I can't talk today.
Speciality.
I can't talk today.
It's
And
just too dark.
yeah, it's let's see, it's from Campo de Borja since the 12th century. We're gonna start pouring it.
Do you know
because-
what Ermita means?
No,
Ermita?
Ermita in Spanish. Ermita.
no.
Oh, you
Do,
think
are
I
you
should?
like? Do you know the answer and you're not?
No, I don't know the
okay.
answer because it's something of Saint Lorenzo.
They give you these
Ermita.
little cards
Yep.
with your wine.
Mhm.
Now that's kind of
Yep.
useful.
And I figured, well, since I hadn't tasted it prior,
Oh, look, they have more information on the back.
Go ahead.
Look, winemaker's notes too.
go ahead.
Aroma, taste. All right, let's see. I'm not gonna read it.
All right.
I'm gonna drink it. I'd rather drink it. All right.
Okay. All right. It's pure red currant
Oh, it
on
smells
the
really
nose
Yeah.
with classic tobacco and a hint of paprika. It's succulent, mouth-filling red berry fruit layered with over tobacco
Succulent. I like that.
and spice. Succulent.
It smells
And
very
silky.
full-bodied.
And
Is it
rounded.
full-bodied?
Rounded.
All right, so what are
tannins.
we're toasting to Carol's anniversary,
Okay.
to 4 years with
Best version media.
And
And-
to turning blue.
And turning blue. Well, yeah, no red wave.
Possibly.
No red wave, which is thankful. And
Only red wave is in this glass.
Yes.
Right.
Woo-hoo. Ooh, that's nice.
Love it. Love this.
It's good.
Oh, and the price point.
Love it.
Price point.
Oh, it's really good.
It's about $13.
Oh, that's,
Oh, that's
great.
nice.
Yeah, because
I
I was
would
like,
buy this
because
wine.
I get it in the club, and I'm like, well, I don't know how much this really goes.
This smells
So-
nice and tastes
Do a
everything.
little slurp so it rolls on your tongue.
like this.
Yeah, just a
Is that
little,
how you're
like with a
supposed to
little
do
bit.
it?
Yeah, that's how you taste it.
Really?
That's how you taste coffee too.
I don't know how
And
you
it's hard
taste
to do it with
coffee.
coffee too. Because it's, well, I used to work
Oh.
for Starbucks, so we
That's true.
do coffee tastings all the time.
Mhm.
Piping hot black coffee.
I could drink this. Is it too dry for you?
No,
Okay.
I love this.
All right, good. You don't love it.
No, I do like it. I thought it was going to be very full-bodied, and it's not.
not full
Right.
body, but it's really.
But
really
it is.
delicious.
It's very nice. No, I do like it.
It's. I mean, they said tobacco. I could taste some of the herbs that they mentioned here as well.
Okay, so here it's wine style medium red.
Oh, it
Let's
smells
see.
so good.
It goes with
I wish I could
tapas
smell
and
share
pork.
this with you. It's really, it smells really
It's
good.
very good.
Wow.
And
So
let's see.
medium red. So I'm going to see how long you should have decanted that for, and it would have tasted different.
You know what? I should bring my decanter next time. Would you like?
You know,
to?
I almost brought my decanter.
Just remind me.
But I
next
said,
time,
but
I'll bring a
Carol's
decanter.
already going to have it.
But I could
open.
open up mine for another time and
that's
get
true.
that ready.
All right, and medium bodied that one is.
Mhm.
You're supposed to decant it. That's for Grenache, Zinfandel, Cabernet, blah blah blah.
This is the kind of decanter I have.
30 to 60
Yeah,
minutes.
that's the
This
kind
is
I
what
use.
I have
That's
too.
what I
Okay.
used to have.
Show what it looks like.
I used to have this one.
Oh yeah, sure we can.
I didn't know that there were different sizes. I'm not.
Yeah, there's
wine
all
expert.
different. This kind for light-bodied red wines.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
There's all different kinds. This is the kind that Judy and I have.
Yes.
Not jointly. We each have one.
We have joint custody.
Yeah. This is the you're supposed to. They show this one for the Cabernets, the full-bodied
That's
We
wine.
drink a lot of
definitely
Cabernet,
Yeah.
so that
Oh,
would
and
make
that
sense.
one that we all like, that Terriga Nacional that I brought from Portugal.
Oh,
that was really good.
That was excellent.
Yeah, that's the one that I decanted, actually.
But
Yeah.
we didn't decant it for 60 minutes.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't because I didn't get here
Well,
60
it was
minutes.
like
I
60
uncorked
seconds.
this at least an hour ago.
Okay, so
but, yeah.
Oh, this is delicious, Carol.
Yeah, it's very good.
Do they give you, like, in the box, do they give you like two of a kind or just one of
Some
each?
of them they give you two, some just one, and I can't remember. Oh, had to take a lot out. I think this is the first time I drank this one, so I think
Do you like it?
I like it very much. Yes, but I like it too. So, I guess we could now talk books, right?
Oh yeah, we have time because I'm not going to be all that long.
Okay.
So I just finished reading about a week or so ago. Last week it was Lucy by the Sea, and Elizabeth Strout is the author, and she's one of my favorite authors. I love her characters, and one of her characters in a few of her books is Lucy Barton, and this is the latest book about Lucy Barton.
Mhm.
And what I love about these books is that they're very conversational. There isn't a plot in them. There isn't something like you don't have to figure anything out. It's like this book, Lucy by the Sea, happens during the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. And she and her husband have been separated for quite a few years, but they always remained friends. And he said, come on, I'm getting you, because they live in Manhattan. And he said, we're getting out of here, we're going to Maine for the pandemic because it's too dangerous. Because they're older, they're in their 70s, and it's too dangerous here. So that's how the story takes place in Maine during the pandemic. And she and her husband share this house that they rent by on the Maine coast. And she talks about their adult children and their marriages, and she talks about her past, and she talks about her upbringing, which is from other books too. Like My Name is Lucy Barton, that goes through her childhood. And she had a terrible, terrible, terrible poverty-stricken childhood. And she was never exposed to anything. She lived in a rural area. They didn't have any exposure to any kind of culture. Her parents were not even literate. So she grew up to be a writer. She is actually an author, a famous published author in all of her books. In all of Elizabeth Strout's books. I get the two of them mixed up. To me, Elizabeth Strout is Lucy Barton.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is that I always feel like if Lucy Barton were a real person and I met her or lived near her, I would be her friend. it's very, as I said before, it's very conversational. Like I feel like I know her and that we would be friends. Elizabeth Strout also wrote Olive Kitteridge, and she won the Pulitzer Prize for that. Olive Kitteridge is another character that I love, and I know that I could be friends with her too, but she's not easy to be friends with. She's very cantankerous. She's very cantankerous.
Here with these
but I know, I understand Olive Kitteridge. I have an understanding of her. So anyway, it's very short. Read the book. It's a quick read. I actually took my time reading it, as did my daughter, Jessica, because she loves Elizabeth Strout also. She said, I'm reading it just a little bit at a time because I don't want it to be over.
I have a question though. Can you read it if you had not read Lucy?
Yes,
Barton
all of her books you can read standalone, because like in this book, she will refer to things that happened in her past but kind of explain them.
Okay.
You know, like she'll bring up things. So the first time I read about Lucy Barton was not in My Name is Lucy Barton. It was in, it wasn't, it might have been Olive Kitteridge. It was either Olive Kitteridge or another one that had Olive Kitteridge in it, Olive Again. And then I said, oh, I never read My Name is Lucy Barton, so then I bought that and I read that. And then there's Anything is Possible. I just love all of her books. I highly recommend them. They're kind of like feel-good books. It's very, it's all everyday things.
Yeah, it's not
You know, it's just like she writes about people's everyday lives in such a way that you are fascinated by it, even though they're not even fascinating people.
Is it kind of like, it's reminding a little bit like a Jane Austen, who would write about ordinary life of the time. There's no big plots. It's just people coming, people going, people getting married.
Yeah,
people,
exactly.
You know, just how.
Except she's easier to get through than Jane Austen, though.
Let's not go there. That's my favorite. But there's an appeal to that. There is an appeal to just having a character that's not, you know, fanatical or
you could see yourself in this character.
Yeah.
You could see, you know, sometimes she's very naive, and I'm not naive, but I just love her as a person. She's a good person, and
any movies?
Any movies that Elizabeth
For her
Strout?
characters.
Well, Olive Kitteridge, I think, was an
they did with Frances McDermott was in it.
Okay.
That was good.
McDormand.
Okay,
Right.
something like that. I'm sorry.
Don't be
Or
sorry.
Frances.
That's okay. You know what
Yeah.
I really wanted to say though, I think this is amazing that she wrote about COVID and how long has this book been out?
It came out a few months ago.
See, it just goes to show you that a publisher, if they really want to get a book out in a timely manner,
Yeah.
you know, when you're Elizabeth Strout, it can happen.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know, and
So anyway, I'd
that's
love
amazing.
to get her for on the road book events. I just love her so much. Elizabeth Strout, please.
She's begging me. We'll see what we can do. I don't know.
Lucy by the Sea, Elizabeth Strout.
Excellent.
Highly recommend it.
Thank you.
I give
Peggy.
it 5 stars.
Yeah,
Very
5
nice.
out of 5.
That's
I'm
a good
guessing.
one.
Yes, 5 out of
Okay.
5.
5 Wildflowers.
Yeah.
5
That's our
Wildflowers.
rating
That's
system.
right. I'm
Very
sorry. You're
Yes.
absolutely right. 5 Wildflowers.
So before we move on to the topic, we're going to stop the camera for just a brief minute because you can see by the timer we're almost out of the time when it goes off.
Yeah,
This
my
is-
camera will shut off at 30 minutes
And you
because
can
it's
see
not a.
that is in front of Carol now because she just doesn't let me.
She doesn't trust Judy.
No, I got in trouble because I was the boss. But Judy, what's going to be your subject so that people know what we're going
We're going to have a State of the Union.
Address?
A State
We're going to talk about the state of our union.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
By the Wildflowers, yeah.
So
Uh-oh.
Stay
we
tuned.
look forward to it.
All right, we're back. Excellent. Get over here, Peggy.
Woo!
All right, we're going to kick this segment off with our topic, and I have to be honest with everybody. I'm not the most prepared for this. I was flip-flopping between topics this
Yes,
week,
she
what
was.
to do, and something just kind of, maybe it's the timing. Yesterday was Veterans Day, and Tuesday was on election day, and we did speak about politics before the election happened, and we all expressed our wishes and hopes, and yay, and we're all wearing blue or some form of it. We're all excited about it. But I just thought we should have kind of like a recap, like a State of the Union, just in case, we know we have a wide audience that watches this. Just in case somebody, wants to know what real people,
Every day.
We're not political.
A lawyer, a writer, a bookseller, and a volunteer person.
Is thinking, we're all mothers, retired, not retired, is thinking about our State of the Union now, post-election. If they want to know some thoughts. I know we're not big political pundits. We don't monitor everything.
We're not?
Maybe you are, Peggy. But I mean, just honest thoughts about it. And so, before we do that, I just kind of wanted to also just give a big thank you to all of our veterans in our family.
Thanks for your service.
And our community. I come from a very long line of military service in my family, and I'm very lucky to have current and former military members in my family. Name names like my father, my brother, my husband, my uncles. I've been surrounded by military my whole life, and I know that the sacrifice that goes into it. I wrote a little something on Facebook yesterday. I don't know if anybody.
I did.
You did.
I liked it.
Oh, okay, thank you. It's just a little something about when you think about it, and these, especially those who are enlisting or not being. I mean, drafting of course is one thing. We don't, it hasn't been in effect in a while, but who are volunteering to go into this service, to put their own lives on hold, to put their dreams deferred, to put their goals, their wishes. They have goals, they have wishes, but they're putting that all on hold for us.
And in some cases, putting their lives in danger.
In a lot of cases, they're putting their lives in danger, and you don't know when you'll be asked to put that life in danger or not. And so it's a big, huge sacrifice. And it really, when I was asking my kids about how much they learned about that in school, of course, it's a one day. And they were one of the few people in their school who actually had a parent who was in the military. And it really made, because they had like a military celebration. Some people had grandparents.
Oh, I saw the pictures. Right. Your dad went,
and my husband went. But the girls had something in school, and they were one of the few people in the whole school that actually had a parent that was in the military that was there, or at least that was in attendance. Maybe they're aware. Yeah. But we're so quick to put our sports heroes on pedestals.
Oh my goodness!
To put actors and celebrities on pedestals, and I really feel like we should be putting our veterans on these same pedestals and teaching our children more than once a year to celebrate and to learn the stories of these brave men and women who are working for us. Derek Jeter or whoever these people are, Kobe Bryant. He's not here anymore. But whatever. I am so dating. They're not going to do anything for us. And you want to teach your child to be like them.
Yes.
In my opinion, it's like fine, but that in a way it's a very selfish path. You're serving yourself, and a lot of. I mean, that's something you can't.
Well, some of them are very good people too, who speak out and they're activists.
I hope that you do it at the same time as teaching children to honor.
Well, when I was a young woman, it was the Vietnam War, and it was so unpopular that those poor guys who came home. They didn't get any respect.
No.
It was like it was their fault that it happened, and they didn't want to be there, and it was under horrible circumstances, and it wasn't even a traditional war. It was never a declared war.
Right. But they didn't run?
No, they...
Well, some did. Some did, and I don't blame them.
No,
no. Because they,
But it was, they were disrespected. And not appreciated what they did because the war was so unpopular. But
presently, and it'll be my book in our next podcast, and it's about it's actually for school children. This book that I'm actually going to talk about, but it's another book that I worked with, is called Proudly She Served, and it's with artist Steve Alpert, and he did paintings of all these women who served in military. and the book just came out, and they're going to be traveling around the country in museums, and so women are they have a hard road to go to do this, because we know the stories of the struggles that they've had. So they're the veterans, and so I thank them too. So thank you for mentioning that, because it's an important
everything,
topic.
even down to our animals, service animals in the military.
Yes,
I mean,
I was on the
I
news
know.
last night.
Oh,
Yes.
about all the
Yeah.
dogs from the
And horses.
shelters now that they're
Oh, yeah.
training to be comforting
Yes.
to
Yes.
veterans
To be-
and
Yeah.
It's an important work that
No.
they're doing, and so I just wanted to. I mean, I know it's a day late or whatever,
It's
but
fine.
we were timing our. But we should do it
Yeah.
every day.
Every
So if you
day,
see a
yeah.
veteran, buy them lunch, buy them. This same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
thank your neighbor. Don't just
Right.
do it around Veterans
Well, and
Day.
it's funny because
Right.
somebody had posted a few years ago on social media, like, oh, I saw somebody in the airport, and I said thank you, and like, oh, we should all say thank you. Yes, we should. I said, but we need to also make sure they're not homeless. We need to
Yeah.
invest
Amen.
money into these
Yeah.
people. Yes, thank you, and then walk away and like, that's it. Oh, we have a sale today. It's a Veterans Day sale, and that's like,
People Veterans Day, we go shopping.
We go shopping,
have
but-
lunch or whatever
Yeah.
it is. But we,
Well, these
Spend it
stores
with
that
us.
are having Veterans Day sale, part of the sale could be, we're going to donate 20% of our sales today, and you never hear about that.
No, you
I have
don't.
never heard anybody
No.
doing that.
no.
But that would be the right thing to do, like
Right.
donating, a percentage of those sales from that day
Right.
to a veterans organization.
Right.
So,
And pay attention, and bringing this in line too with what we're going to talk about is pay attention to how your politicians treat your veterans.
yes.
Don't just pay attention to those who give lip service to we support our troops, we support our veterans.
Right.
How are they voting on bills for Veterans Administration? How are they voting on bills for increased medical benefits or psychiatric care, which is is one of the biggest hardships, I think.
exactly,
With
with mental
PTSD,
illness, yes.
and it's facing it. So
Uh-huh.
anybody could say very easily, I support our troops, I support our
Yeah.
men and women in
Mhm.
blue.
We
So
wear
we
the
hear
little,
that.
Yeah.
But pay attention to what they actually do with their vote. When
Right.
when nobody's really looking at that.
And not only with their vote, but also in other ways, like Zeldin was all law and order, but then again, he voted against certifying the election in 2020.
He didn't even
and
show
he-
up at the January 6th
Right.
And yep,
celebration for
exactly,
the law
exactly.
laws.
I actually posted something about that on Facebook right before Election Day. All the things that he didn't do. One of the phrases that they used in the article I read was he wasn't for the blue, he was for the coup. And he was,
Yeah.
all those, police officers
Well, this-
at the Capitol that day.
This is a good, I guess, time to
Segue, yeah.
segue
Yeah.
into it because, so keeping that in mind, and maybe that was a factor. Maybe people did pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
think they did.
Honestly, I was a lot nervous. I mean, I'm very, whatever, I pay attention to signs, and there was a blood moon that that the
Yeah.
night before, and I was like, this is not going to be good. I
Right,
really
right.
thought,
Yeah.
and I said, it's not a good sign. Now, Republicans or those who wanted the others probably think, oh, see, the blood moon was a bad sign, but so it's all relative how you look at it.
Well,
but-
that's true. That's
yeah,
true.
it's all how you look at it. But for
Perception
me,
is
In other
reality.
ways,
Yeah.
in other words, omens don't matter.
Omens don't matter,
Right.
I guess. But
Your
I,
vote matters, not an
but I
omen.
think
just-
everybody was kind of thinking the Democrats weren't going to pull it off
Yeah.
as well as
Because it was a
they did.
midterm election with a
Yeah.
Democratic president, and that's usually the case, that it doesn't go well.
I think it's or Republican. Historically, a midterm election, from what I've and from as long as I've been paying attention, which is not like a long time,
Right,
it's
right,
like
right.
usually the balance of power shifts a bit
Well,
because
that's what I
no
meant. It
side
does,
is happy
yeah.
whether there's a Republican president or a Democrat.
Right, it
And I
shifts.
think Biden, really surprisingly, was able to keep the
Yeah.
power now, and that it's not.
I don't think it
decided
was
fully
Biden
yet.
because he's not that popular. His approval rating is so low.
Well,
I
let's
think a
talk
lot
about
of it
this,
had
yes.
to do with Roe v. Wade being overturned.
More so than what they realized.
Exactly. I think women came out in force, and maybe some women, even Republican women, they said, no, this isn't going to fly with us. We fought too hard to get any rights in this
Sherlock,
country.
no.
We only got the right to vote, 100 years ago?
Yeah.
Sherlock.
No.
Oh my God,
See,
he's not invited anymore.
He's been Sherlock has been officially adopted now, so he knows now he can misbehave.
Yes, he hears somebody going out the front door, so that's why he's barking.
No, I mean, I think Roe v. Wade was definitely a factor, but I'm not sure it was the only factor.
No,
I'm an eternal optimist. I really am, and I kind of hope that Donald Trump was also a factor in this, and that perhaps Republicans have got their fill of that man.
Exactly. I think that they got the message because they were expecting this big wave and it didn't happen.
Right.
And I think people in this country have had enough of Trumpism.
Right. Hopefully.
Well, some of his candidates that he supported did win, but some of them didn't, and he's not taking the blame for it either.
No, he's going to take the credit, but not the blame. So that's a real strong leader for you.
Yeah. Well, one thing I haven't prepared too much because, like I said, it was flip-flopping, but one thing I wanted to get your opinion on is what do you think is going to be an important issue for our next election? So if there's politicians now thinking, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for president, which, whether it be Biden or Trump or DeSantis, Florida, what are you thinking? What should they hear from us if they want to get, our take?
If it was me,
yes.
I would defend our democracy because I think right now that's the biggest issue. That our rights are being eroded, not only women's rights, but also our voting rights. Look what the Republicans are doing. They're making it harder for people to vote. I think it's going to be abortion rights, the choice.
Right.
It's going to be voting rights and preserving our democracy in general.
I think those three are what I agree. Absolutely.
What about all that we hear about the economy, and the
I know what you're going to say.
Go ahead, you say it first, because we're on the same page with this.
There's always going to be inflation.
Yes.
And
through our lifetimes, how many times has it been up and down?
Right.
And the other point is that the Republicans didn't make with all of their campaigns. They're blaming everything on the Democrats. It's all over. It's a global problem. Right. Inflation is over 10% in Europe and the United Kingdom,
and this is
the Democrats don't control that.
No, and to prove the point is, we're the euro. Look at the euro. Yeah. I mean, I've only started paying attention to the euro a lot since I started dating my husband. Because every time we go over to Ireland, it's always. The euro is so much more valuable than the dollar.
It's
never been different until now. Yeah. When the Democrats are in power, and so now we'll have a little bit more spending money when we travel there. But it's true, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It is everywhere. So it's not just in the United States we're feeling.
And it's not because of the Democrats. It's because of the supply chain as a result of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And now, the interest rates, the Fed is raising the interest rates, but that's to keep people from buying a lot of stuff until the supplies catch up with the demand. Then that's what inflation is.
And to keep them from making choices in their purchases that they really shouldn't have. I remember starting out when I was in law school, right out of law school, working in a small firm, and we did a lot of real estate work, and a lot of that involved real estate closings, and and the prices for mortgages were down. They used to be up by similar to where we are now, and they were down to about 5%, which everyone was great at the time. Right. This is oh my goodness, and this is probably around early 2000s, and it encouraged people who, like a lot of first-time home buyers, were buying houses bigger than they could afford. And being talked into housing packages, mortgage packages that were not good packages by a lot of these lenders, which we got in trouble. Right. Then you had the housing bubble, and you had the crash. And in a way, I could see this kind of correcting itself a little bit now because we did come from a really big boom, you know,
Yeah.
with the housing. The interest rates dropped really low.
Right.
A lot of people were buying these bigger houses,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, they come with tax bills, they come with maintenance, they
Right.
come with a lot of things that you may not expect at first
You have
blush.
to furnish those big
Right.
houses.
And so, you know, it's a correction, I think, what we're going through
Yeah.
now
Right,
to hopefully to prevent this big housing issue that we had in
Right.
the past, you know, which was really sad. And when Obama took over at that time,
Mhm.
he inherited such a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He inherited, you know, there was the automotive issue,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
the companies were closing,
Yeah.
the housing
Yeah.
issue. It was awful. Our jobs were were at their low, and we came back.
Yeah.
So you're
Well,
right. It's a global issue.
Was it right after 9/11 when, maybe my timeline is off, but when President Bush encouraged people to go out and shop, to go buy? Wasn't
I don't remember.
I feel like there was something like go out and buy, spend money.
That might have been during the recession in 2007. Remember in 2007?
Maybe that's what I'm getting. But I'm like,
recession.
you know, I don't know if that was the answer. Spend money on what? On stuff that you don't need? I don't know.
That was probably then because a lot of people got laid off and there was a lot of unemployment.
Yeah, that might be.
And you know, you have to put money into the economy to
Yeah.
make everything work. I mean, it's such a delicate balance of things,
That's
you know.
absolutely.
Now we have to worry about a recession because of inflation and the interest rates going up, which is good for some people. Like for me, I don't have debt. So I'm
Right.
okay with that. I have my retirement savings.
Right.
So I have savings accounts that now are making more interest. But when I was a younger person and I had credit card debt and a mortgage and a home equity loan, it was, you know, like terrible for me,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So it's,
Well,
you know.
Tuesday night, I binge watched The West Wing because
The whole thing.
No, I've been watching it for a month.
seasons.
I've been watching it for the last month and a half, I would say. But I was like, instead of watching, you know, the votes coming in and you know hearing it's like I just can't emotionally take it. I can't. And there were a couple of episodes, and maybe in our next podcast I'll read one from them. But there was a scene in this one that I just love The West Wing, and that happened to be where the one that was the other night on Tuesday night was a special edition, and it included President Carter talking about being, and it included President Clinton. It included Peggy Noonan, who was a pundit, and it included a lot of the people. And Sherlock is going to bark again in a few minutes because somebody's pulling into my house. But anyway.
Okay.
So one of the characters is Toby Ziegler, and he is the White House Communications Director. And there was a scene with him, is that he was dealing with the White House with Jed Bartlett, who was the president, played by Martin Sheen, which I just wished he was the president sometimes. He is dealing, the character, because he was...
I was going to say, he's an actor, please. We've had enough experiences with that.
That person, that character. So anyway, Toby Ziegler is dealing with some despicable folks in Congress, and he tells the story about a man in Auschwitz who is on his knees, and he's in the camp. See, I told you he was going to start barking. Sherlock, no. So, and he was on his knees thanking God. And another prisoner nearby asked what on earth he had to be thankful for. And he said, I thank God that I am not like them.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, and that's how I feel, I'm sorry, but about the MAGA crowd.
Yeah.
I thank God I am not gullible. I am not falling for the conspiracy theories without researching what needs to be researched. I get very emotional.
Especially
about
since
this.
it's easy to find out the truth if you just really listen to his own words. Just listen to his words.
Right.
He tells you who he is.
Yes.
If you could say, if I don't win before an election,
Yes.
it's rigged.
And that's
if I win, it's fine.
And that's Carrie Lake is another one.
I don't think it's a matter of they're being deceived. My personal view is, and he's this way.
Mm-hmm.
He is not the only one on this planet or in this country that is like this way.
Right.
And I think the people who really wholeheartedly believe and hinge on every word he says are like-minded. And so they recognize themselves, and that way they don't, it's truth be damned. And
But are you saying that they know that he's lying and they're just going along with it? All of them? All of those millions of people?
I think there is.
If you watched, God forbid,
I
on
think there is
Hulu,
an element to that.
that is exactly, it was
I think
Jerry
there is an
Falwell
element to that.
Jr. and the whole church. They know who he was, but they wanted to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Well, that's what it is.
And
Or they want, or they go along with it because it benefits them. And it goes back in a way to our veterans. It's like, if we could focus on these group of people who were selfless, instead of worrying, well, this guy's going to be better for my 401k.
Yeah.
Or, I don't have children anymore. What do I care if people behind me have abortions?
Yeah.
Or have access to it. And it's a very selfish way. And that's why, because that's, and I didn't mean to, and I didn't mean to put down athletes or to teach your kids to be
no.
that came out all wrong. It was more like we just spend too much of our focus on it. It's we should be focusing on teaching our children and ourselves to be more community minded. That if it's good for you, Peggy, it's good for me too.
Yeah.
And this is not communism. Don't give me any hate mail, or if you want to find, I won't answer you. But I mean, like, this is just about being a decent human being and stop making decisions based solely on your financial, who's going to make your wallet bigger.
And I think that's why most Republicans in this area vote for Republicans, because their focus is on their money, their finances, and not what's best for the whole country. Most people in this country don't have a lot of money. And all those people should not be left behind because of greed and people's greed for power.
Well, that's what it is. Going forward, and this has turned out to be a really nice discussion from having no boundary, like no parameters. I thought is going forward is, I think, my predictions, going forward. I think we have, again, the control of the Senate and the House hasn't yet been decided as of this taping.
Right.
I think we're going to take the Senate, which is the most important, I think, to take, because we can decide our judicial
right.
District courts.
Right.
If there is a vacancy on the Supreme Court for whatever reason, we get to do that. We get to cabinet appointments. We get to do that. So I'm happy
also
for
overseeing what the House is doing too. Like the bills have to go to the Senate. I think the Senate is more important. I think we're going to lose the House. I wish we wouldn't, because I hate Kevin McCarthy.
Well, Kevin McCarthy's, if he gets, he may not even get it, to be honest. But I mean, I'm not willing to concede the House yet. I'm really not. But if we do, because you're right, it's a harder path to get. But if he does, he is going to have a super hard road. It's going to be like herding cats. Kevin McCarthy, go buy some fancy feast, because that's what it's going to be.
I love that.
It's shake your little party mix and have the cats come running. He's going to have to be like trying to get the crazy MAGAs to appease them, but the conservative Republicans are not going to want to be associated with that. Right. And not only that, but because they're mostly the Senate and the Republicans are more conservative, non-MAGA-like, anything he sends over to them is probably going to be rejected. So good luck, Kevin McCarthy. Yeah. If that's who it is. But
I hope your life is hell for the rest of your life.
And deservedly so, because we all saw what you said after January 6th, and we all saw how you changed your mind, you folded it. What Donald Trump has on him, I would love to see come out.
Well, now Trump is saying that he has something on DeSantis.
Let's close on this a little bit, DeSantis, in a way, because he's a more polished version of Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's just as bad.
He's just as bad, but we have to be more mindful of him, because he is not as
sleazy,
as jerky, whatever. But the margin he won in Florida, what the heck, Florida?
Yeah,
Floridians,
really,
what
man.
are you thinking with DeSantis? I mean, look at the way he bullied everybody. Bullies
know.
Disney, bullies so many people.
Immigrants and all the he won the Hispanic
who
I don't get
disagrees
it.
with
I
him.
don't get
Who
it.
disagrees with him.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, well, Spanish, because a lot of the media and political news, they get it from the radio. And it's very conservative controlled.
Yeah.
Right,
This
right.
radio.
Which is so disturbing.
But that's what we could do a whole other thing on that. But anyway, don't lose him on the focus, but really he did win by a large margin.
Yes.
And I think he, rather than Donald Trump, is the bigger threat for the country because he's not as crazy loud. He doesn't have the scandals following Donald Trump.
Well, he might have one now because Trump said he has it. He knows more about him than everybody
But that's
except
if you
his
believe.
wife.
If you believe Donald Trump. Donald
Well,
Trump
the problem
he'll
is
have something on you and me by the end of this. You know?
DeSantis could appeal to a wider range of Republicans than the MAGA crazy people.
Right, but I don't understand. I mean, the way he's running that state right now seems more autocratic than it is democratic.
Yeah.
And if that's how you want to live down there, I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of Florida to begin with. I mean, I'm really after seeing the margins, you couldn't get me down there with a.
I wish that
private
Disney
jet
would
plane.
pull out of there. I really do.
I was thinking
wish
about
that they would
should
just
go to
pull
New
out.
Mexico. That's
Yeah,
where they
exactly.
should go. To New
New
Mexico. is where they
Mexico
should
is
go.
beautiful.
I'd go to New Mexico. I
Yeah.
will go to
I
Disney.
feel like there's
Yeah.
so much more we could discuss, but I see the little
Yeah.
hourglass here.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask real quick, because it was in, I think, today's Times about who could be the front runner for the Democratic Party if Biden chooses not to.
They are talking about
Buttigieg.
Christie, Whitmer, Buttigieg, or
Warren. Elizabeth Warren is another one on the list.
I think
I think she's too old. I love
But they
her.
have her
I
on
love
the
her. Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I
And
love Elizabeth Warren.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
I'm not a fan of the Buttigieg, but
I love Buttigieg.
I am. I kind of am.
I love him.
Okay, well, I can't.
We'll discuss that.
I can't talk about that on camera. But
Okay. I remember the conversation. we
yeah,
had.
but I would love Elizabeth Warren to take this. I
love
think
her.
Elizabeth Warren would be.
Well, you know what? Let's get a woman in there. Let's
Would
get a
be
woman, a
amazing.
Democratic
Yeah.
woman in the
Although
White
I've
House.
heard some early rumblings about Wes Moore, who just
really?
won the Senate seat in Maryland.
Oh,
That
okay.
he is a rising star. So let's keep your focus a little bit on
Now,
that.
is he a general? Westmore? Was he a
General
general?
He was in the military.
Oh, that's
Westmoreland.
Westmoreland.
Yeah, no, he's
But
had
listen,
military service.
Yeah, I
but
know,
yeah.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
Kind of. I'm trying to
We'll
place
talk about
him.
that one.
Yeah.
But anyway,
we are
pay
gonna be-
attention.
Yeah, we are going to be
Yeah.
discussing.
Thanks
we're
for
gonna be-
indulging
don't leave
us
yet,
today.
Don't leave yet, Penny. Don't leave yet.
I won't leave.
No, okay, no, we're going to be discussing this because I think the podcast, we still want to keep doing this for the next couple of years.
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
muppeting Sesame Street all the way.
Well, absolutely. So, but our next podcast, we are going to be discussing, what's the topic, Peggy?
Inventions.
Woohoo!
Hey, that'll be a lot
That is so
harder.
nice.
That's a lot, much like that.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
there we
All right,
are.
let's go in a different direction.
So
So,
thank you
Thanks
all.
for listening,
Bye
everyone.
everybody. We should have a theme song.
We should have what?
Where's our music?
it goes in the front of the podcast now.
Okay,
Remember,
we
is
don't have it at the end
We
anymore.
don't have it at the